Hey, Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom and salutations to all you sincere Akim as well. Salakia. A lot of as this one's titled, various topics. Something that I, had come across. I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about the housing situation in Brazil, which, the person is so-called Brazilian himself. Whether or not they're an Israelite Brazilian, I can't say. I know they speak Portuguese, but I don't know too much more. It was just, a random conversation. But they were talking about this housing is called a favela or favela. I think in Portuguese, Portuguese is more masculine language. Favela, it's easier for a lot more people to speak because it's I don't know, it just rolls off the tongue easier. And basically, you've seen these housings before. So let me pull it up. Let me see images. This is that housing where they literally they just build on top of each other. They just build on top of each other, and the way they get their power or their electricity is even crazier because they just tap into it. They find it, and it's just you got wires running everywhere, and you can kind of see it in these photos. Let me go back, Salakia. It's a view image, and this is as you can see, look at this rat nest of wires. It's just they run their own electricity. They build right on top of one another, and it is crazy, And he was talking about it because it was, the topic of women came up, and he was talking about this living situation because what you have going on is you have women or girls that are in well-to-do families, right? And they'll run away from home and get with the guy that lives in these slums, and just because they have access to drugs, or they think it's like they think it's cool. Basically, it's hip and cool. I'm gonna run away from home. I'm gonna be rebellious. I'm gonna live over here. I'm gonna teach you, mom and dad, a lesson. I'm gonna get with this guy that you don't approve of. I'm gonna get pregnant by him. And this is basically the story of Jake. Even in America, this is a common thing. But this is what you have. You have girls that go out there and do it. They get, a lot of girls are pregnant at the age of 12 and 13. And this is a, look, they try to spruce it up and make it look nice, but these are heavy crime-ridden areas. And there was just recently, British tourists shot in favela in Rio, too scared to speak to police. So you have a lot of you got a lot of turmoil going on. This is just what's going on over there. When I was researching or looking that up, I also came across this another article dealing with Haiti and the UN peacekeepers. This isn't the article, but this is one similar to it. United Nations peacekeepers caught running a child sex ring. 2,000 plus cases of sexual abuse reported. So ever since they've been there, they've just been raping people. Not only the civilians, but also these UN so-called peacekeepers. So, this is what, we've been known what's going on. It's nothing new. But now it's, these things are starting to come out in the headlines more and more. Same thing with the Walmart FEMA camps. That, big topic. Everybody, all the brothers have been talking about it. So like You know, but another thing with this hurricane, you know, all the information coming out on it, it's let's see, population map of let's see. So let's see if we get some images. So this is 2016. Actually, we should be able to find 2017. So let's see how relevant this is. Population distribution. So it kind of shows you, you know, how thick the population is, and really the biggest cluster of people is on the East Coast, and then in this Midwest section, and then you have this whole huge area. There's another map that shows you in thirds how it would be divided, how America would be divided into three sections. And I had it up earlier, but so here it is. If America were three states of equal population, well, there you have it. There's less developed areas on the west, more towards the Midland, and which they would call Heartland, and the New Atlantic is the heaviest populated area. So with that storm coming in, it's going to do a lot of population reduction. It's going to do a lot of population reduction. That's the plan. And if not, another part of their agenda, you know, from all these reports that have come out, Project Megiddo, Homeland Security, various other dockets and things that have come out over the years behind the scenes while people have been watching Super Bowls, celebrity deaths, and all that other stuff. You know, part of their agenda is to get people to move more further inland. You know, and this is going, you know, once you have all the people inland, well, it's easier to exterminate them. So you're going to go from one camp to another camp. Now it might be 3 or 4 or 5 camps, because things are going to get so bad. And they're going to say, look, it's we have all this land, you know, especially in the Big Sky area. So it's very easy to persuade people to leave these areas, to leave these coastal parts, and to come in inland. Now, one of the things, the logistics behind this also is they have that port. Remember, they widened the Panama Canal, and now, you know, Texas is more of a port. So they look, we don't need the east or west coast so much for their ports anymore. We'll just come in through the Panama Canal right here, boom, up the Mississippi. Everyone's going to be right here between the Heartland and the Big Sky. Look, that's the new, this is where we're going to centralize. Okay, I mean, this is, you know, just, you know, from a logistics standpoint, you know, dealing with freight and, you know, movement of product, and just kind of based on how things work from the east to the west coast in delivery and shipment. Okay, so that's some of the things that we're seeing with this storm is, you know, is disrupting a lot of trade, a lot of market, a lot of people's lives. You had one guy on the radio listening to NPR, you know, AM radio, and he's saying, look, we can rebuild your homes, we can't rebuild your lives. So they're really trying to get everyone out of this you know, these danger zones, you could call it, you know. I think this was a hurricane, was it Irma? I think it was Irma, right? Yeah. So look at SOS alert in the Caribbean islands, or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, I think that brother Damash Apat mentioned they're calling it a Category 6, and you see it's already hitting Puerto Rico. Is this another one? Tropical storm, hurricane. So it's just gonna rip through even some parts of Haiti. You know, look, there's another one off over here, tearing up Mexico. Now you have all this going on to America right now. You have all this going on, and then up here, you know, is in this northwest corridor is all the fire. So you have the respiratory problems that are taking place as well, where you're gonna have people dropping dead of that too. And they're just getting this place ready. Hey, these are just test runs in these larger populated areas. And over here in Washington, okay, what you have is more. See if I can. I'm not sure if I can turn the legend off or the filter. Oh well. Anyway, you see this darker area right here is a military base. So anything that happens, and Seattle's the most populated area. No one gives a shit about Seattle. A bunch of smug ass people up here anyway. But you have these military bases that they're gonna, force people into. You have a lot of huge Walmarts out here and things like that. Really, loss of life out here is not a big deal. Nobody's concerned about it. The only thing that's of concern is the nuclear facilities, the power plants, and that's pretty much it. Um, Easy to build though, they can move. Get something up and running in a couple of years, but again, just showing you how the sides are getting bombarded with different elements right now, and it's gonna funnel people, more towards the middle, to the big sky and the heartland areas, as they titled it. So really, showing and saying all this to say that the judgment's coming, man. This is judgment. Okay, this is all judgment from the Heavenly Father. Okay, and the Most High, He loves judgment. So if you do a word search, Slovakia, you do a word search on judgment, it's gonna occur 294 times in 285 verses. Okay, in the King James, like 6 pages of matches. Okay, the Most High, judgment is a serious thing, and it's because you have wicked people in the world, man. Even Israelites. A lot of things, a lot of these things that are happening to the world is because Israel is spread out throughout all 4 corners of the world, man. So this whole planet's got to get shaken up and touched, and then you have the wicked that are in control of the world. So that's all going to be taken away from the wicked. Look at this, Proverbs 19:28. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. So you have the ungodly, like these scoffers and scorners. Here it is, brothers have been teaching and edifying for years, and all they're doing on these comment boards is scorning, scoffing, making light of the situation. To scorn, make mouths at, talk arrogantly. And I think the brother Yatazak from the Dallas camp, he was talking about how people were talking shit about the hurricane. They say, bring it. People were spray painting on walls, telling the hurricane to bring it. Look, that's scorning. That's scorning. Make mouths at, talk arrogantly. To make mouths at, i.e. to scoff, hence to interpret or intercede. Okay, so this is mockers and scorners. To speak barbarously, which is in a foreign tongue or language, appearing to those who are ignorant of it, as if they babbled and stammered senselessly. And that's what these people are doing. Speaking of judgment of the Heavenly Father, has them speaking barbarously, as if what we're saying is foreign to them. Like the scripture says, though it be told to them, they will not believe it, though it be told to them. Let's see if I can find that real quick. I think I want to say it's like Habakkuk or Micah. Let me see. Yep, yep. Habakkuk 1 and 5. Okay. It says, Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told to you. And that's what you're seeing. These other nations, these Israelites that are become as the heathen, okay? They're not believing what we're telling them, man. They're not believing of the judgment. See, now here, let me read up a bit. This is Habakkuk 1 and 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear, even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Okay? And you've got, look, this truth and the beginning of everything going down since the 70s. We're in 2017. It's been almost 40 years, man. Okay? That the men of the Lord have been out there sighing and crying about all this. Okay? And the Most High has kept his peace. Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that rise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. And that's what you're seeing, wrong judgment proceeding. You got the wicked in power, allowing for homosexuality to be on a rise. Right? All these laws that are put in place that are oppressive to anyone pursuing righteousness. Pork on everything. Women walking about, you don't know who's on their menstrual cycle. Everything's unclean and dirty. Nothing is made or considered for long-term effects. Okay, that's why you have these studies coming out about people that have been using baby powder or body powder, body talc. Okay, they're developing cancers. It's been clogging their pores, seeping into their skin. It's been giving them cancers. Oil, which is good for the body, isn't used. And America's the ones that push that Johnson & Johnson baby powder bullshit. Really, fuck, even the French were using that stuff, man. You know, that dates back to Edomites being in power, that they just powder up to mask the smell. They powder up, man. Okay, so wrong judgment's been going on. So behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. Okay, for lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. Okay, they are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. So, and that's what you're seeing. America, the elites, okay, the Chaldeans, the elites are the ones that are just, they want to stay in office. You know, I think it was like 60% of the Republicans are for Obama's, I forget what they called it, DOCA Act or whatever, DOCA, I can't remember what it is. Basically, allowing children of immigrant parents to come to the country to pursue education and get jobs. That makes them look good. They want to get re-voted in, so they're gonna keep that going forward because it's had so much of a positive result. But if it was a negative result, they would turn away from it. You know, so that's how Trump is gonna get his favor ratings back up. All this bullshit he's done, but he's gonna get his favor ratings back up. People are gonna fall back in love with him. Okay, so you know, you just have all this bullshit going on, man. But you know, the Most High, he's going to correct all these things. You know, all these things are going to be corrected. Okay, because wrong judgment proceedeth forth. Okay, an ungodly witness scorneth. So like, yeah, let me find it. What is it? 19. Yeah, an ungodly witness scorneth the judgment. They mock at judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. And that's all they do is build up iniquity upon iniquity. Okay, they look for iniquity to to abound in. Okay. So those were a few topics I wanted to bring out. Actually, there was another one too, because you got this baseball coach. This will be the last one. It's already coming up on 20 minutes. So you had a baseball coach out here in Washington. And he basically got fired. And or was it a football coach? I guess this must be him. Washington football coach cannot pray after games, U.S. appeals court. A high school football coach in Washington state has failed to persuade a federal appeals court to let him kneel and pray on the field immediately after games in sight of students and parents. Which really, that's right. You're not supposed to pray in public. You know, that's right. You know, you're not supposed to pray in public to be seen of men. Like, what are you looking for? Right? The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Wednesday rejected Joseph Kennedy's request for an injunction requiring the Bremerton School District, located just outside Seattle, to reinstate him and allow his prayer. So Kennedy, a Christian, said the district violated his constitutional right to free speech under the First Amendment, including by putting him on paid leave in October 2015. Now this is the part where it's kind of interesting, because you have look at your constitutional rights are gone. They've been gone. Okay, that was the whole point of these Patriot Acts. Okay, and the word amendment itself, people say, oh, this is the First Amendment. Okay, well, what is an amendment? An amendment is a minor change in a document, which means at any time it can be changed. Something that is added to soil in order to improve its texture or fertility. Not dealing with that. An article added to the U.S. Constitution. There you go. An article added. Example, the First Amendment. Okay. So amendments are things that are changed. Here you go. Old French amender, Old French amendement, English amend, meaning an improvement or correction. And you see it's from the 1800s. Okay. So these things at any time can be changed. You know, that's what the devil does. When it's something that he doesn't like, he changes it for him. There was this movie I saw on Netflix the other night with what's his name, Matthew McConaughey, called Gold. Okay, came out in 2016, and it was funny watching it, because in this film, you see examples of that. There are certain laws and things put in place, and it's all paperwork. It's all about how this is worded and what's worded, and you know, you agreed to this and you signed that, and you know, and his whole operation basically got taken away from him. Now the movie is based on around true events, you know, but best believe the way that the whole thing operated is the devil's, how do you say, his motive. That's how he operates. How you know it's him. It's his spiritual character. Okay, the devil being the so-called white man. How they deceive one another constantly, trying to get the one up. You know, it was decent watch. You know, I would say, you know, watch it if you know you can't find anything else on to watch. You know, it was somewhat decent. But yeah, that shows you how this devil writes laws to fulfill and benefit him. Finishing this up, it says, but on Wednesday's decision, Circuit Judge Millen Smith said Kennedy went too far trying to press his religious beliefs on impressionable and captive minds. Talking about the youth. And, you know, that's pretty much it, you know. So you know, like I said, various topics, things that are kind of taking place. Just keeping this under 30 minutes. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.